Hi, my name is Sydney Elliott. I'm a member of the Winchester High School National Honor Society. We would like to thank you for your willingness to be interviewed today. Our plan is to include these full-length interviews as a part of Winchester High School History's Department Virtual Archive. We will also be using short segments of your interview in our virtual Veterans Day program since we can't have a real one this year due to COVID. The Winchester students will be watching it virtually in their classrooms on Veterans Day. It will also be posted on the school's website and for the public to watch, as well as like Facebook, and will be live.
Okay.
If we ask you any questions that you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to answer them.
Okay.
If you don't mind, we're gonna get started.
Certainly.
Can you please tell me your name and your years of service in the military?
My name is Larry Evans. I was in the service from 1966 through 1970.
Okay, thank you for your service.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Why did you pick this service branch you joined?
I was in the Air Force, and it was kind of a process of elimination. Vietnam was getting hot, and being in the Army or Marines meant going to Vietnam very likely anyway, and that was my first choice. So I was down in the Navy and Air Force, and I didn't like the Navy uniforms. That's not a very good reason not to go in, but I didn't. And I didn't want to be on a boat, a ship, for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought the Air Force would give me an opportunity to pick up a skill, some training.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're very technically oriented with flying status and the jobs that go with that. So I was hoping to get some a skill that I could use when I got out.
Right. What do you remember about your sort of training camps with like, and also like what helped you get through them?
Basic training.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little bit of a story. When I went in, like say April of '66, there was all the training was conducted at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. And there was I believe it was meningitis outbreak there, and they had to close the base. And they shipped us up to Amarillo Air Force Base in Texas. And along with that, they shortened the training from 6 weeks to 4 weeks, which I thought was a really good deal until we found out that they just put 6 weeks in 4 weeks. So we did the 20-hour bit, pretty much going, well, not sleeping very much, very little time,
Mm-hmm.
being very, very busy. Let's see, what do I remember about it? Strangely enough, I remember going to church because that was the one place they couldn't yell at you for 30 minutes. That was a very memorable moment every week for about 30 minutes. Remember the haircuts, which isn't what you think of as like a regular haircut. They skin you.
Yeah.
And top of the head and your chin just felt about the same when they got done with you. Lots of, obviously, marching, a lot of cleaning, just constantly going. It was just 4 weeks of probably the toughest thing I've been through. It survived.
Yeah. During your years of service, are there a couple of memorable moments, people experienced that you would be willing to share with us?
Well, one thing is the number of people I met and enjoyed being with, a variety of personnel of different religions, different races, from different parts of the country, and I'd never had any exposure. I was a Winchester boy. I think I'd been to St. Louis and to Louisiana, Missouri to get fireworks, and that was my travel. That's all the travel I'd done. So being in the service and meeting a variety of people from all walks of life was very interesting. Probably the highlight of my 4 years was a year in Thailand with the different culture, the different environment, different weather conditions. I went from Grand Forks, North Dakota. I've been up there 2 years. I went to Thailand. North Dakota, of course, is very, very cold. Thailand was very warm. I think the old time low temperature was like 43 degrees there. So again, a different environment and really an opportunity to see the world a little bit. So
Right.
those were kind of the highlights.
Do you recall like the day that your service ended? What did you do in the days, the weeks, and the months, and the years afterward?
Actually, I frittered away a little more than I would have liked to do that. I bummed around a little bit down in Texas when I first got out, thinking I somehow would get a decent job, and the job market wasn't good. I had a couple little jobs that I wasn't interested in that I did, and I even looked in going back into the Air Force. I actually got up, I think it was 4 in the morning, I had to go down there and take an exam, physical exam, and did fine on it. And then when I got talking to the counselors, I wanted to get into the computer field, and they wouldn't agree to put me in the field, so I declined going back in. For about 18 months, I came back home in June of 70, and worked at various jobs, helped some farmers put in their crops, take them out, had a hay crew one year, raised some hogs, worked at farm services, and finally kind of got my head straight and went to college in, August of 71. So that was pretty much the immediate period after my service days.
Have you had any service like experiences that have like affected you personally in the way you view your life?
Oh, absolutely. I've always said going in the military was the best thing ever happened to me. Gave me the discipline, motivation, goal setting, all the things that you're supposed to learn that I really never had an opportunity to learn before I was in the service. I think it made me look more forward to getting my life in order and making something of myself, going to college, hopefully getting a good job, which I did. And it was just a very, very good experience, the best thing I've ever done. I thought it was the worst when they wrote me a letter saying I was going to have to do it, but it turned out to be the very, very best.
Is there anything you would like to add that we haven't went over?
Probably the only thing I would probably reiterate is the experience I got in the service, that it was dependent upon a person's options. If they can afford to go to school, if they can get a scholarship, that's a better thing to do in my mind. But if you cannot get that, and if you just want to see the world, you're going to do something different, military was very, very good to me, and I recommend it. I'm very proud to have served.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
You're welcome.